Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Kylan Hunt, CEO of Kylan Hunt and Company, and we want to thank you all for participating in this live event with us. Now, a couple of things that we're going to be touching on today are the basics of selling, the basics of being a salesperson. Now, if you remember, we looked at being a salesperson a couple of days ago where we talked about everyone sells, everybody sells. And that's really not an option. I mean, we talked about how mothers sell. We even talked about how the little baby can sell a mother on something that he or she needs. So these are things that are just partial to who we are as human beings, my friends. So let's go ahead and we'll dive into today's training, and we'll take a look at selling being all about influence. And that's really what it is. Selling is all about influence. So as we go through this today, if you're watching and you get a chance to see something that really impacts you, then please leave us a comment, like our page, follow us, because we're going to keep bringing out more material like this. Now, I am going to tell you there's going to be three main things that you're going to be able to do to actually increase your influence in the sales space. Absolutely going to increase your influence, my friends. So champions are brilliant at the basics. We want to hit on that every single day, right? Champions are brilliant at the basics. So we're going to talk about the core basics today, and selling is all about the influence, period. Now, you notice up on the screen, nothing will work unless you do. That's a fact. Nothing is going to work unless you do. And it is hard sometimes, my friends, to keep the complicated simple. If we don't watch what we do, we will take something that is simple and we'll complicate it. That's what we do as human beings. We have a tendency to do that. So we don't want to go there. We want to find a way to keep it simple. Okay, selling is about influence. Let's see what that looks like. Number one, if you're influencing people, you are connecting with people. You are connecting, my friend. In fact, here's the thing. Here's the thing that I've learned. If I cannot connect to my customer, my potential customer, if I cannot connect with them, I'm not going to sell to them. I'm not going to lead them. I'm not going to do anything with them if I cannot connect with them. So in my opinion, and this is my opinion only, take it for what it's worth. In my opinion, the most important thing that anybody in sales can do, and anybody in leadership can do, anybody in any level of management can do, is focus on your ability to connect with people. Because if you cannot connect with people, you will not lead them, manage them, sell to them, influence them. If you cannot connect, your influence is done. It's just that simple. Now, some people think that communicating, in other words, speaking and saying a bunch of things, is connecting. It just isn't the fact. It's not true. We've done a whole study on that. You can get more there, but that's something that you're going to really want to think into, my friends. You also want to think about influence as a listening component. If you are listening to people, you're influencing them. Now that may even sound counterintuitive. You'd almost say that, well, maybe that's them influencing us. Well, okay, I'll go with that. But here's the reality. Do you realize how much respect it gives someone when you listen to them? When you listen to where they're coming from, do you realize how much your level of respect will go up? See, you're respecting them by allowing them to talk. And as a result, they are respecting you because you've allowed them to talk. The thing about listening is it brings about respect. And respect is going to increase your influence. No ifs, no ands, no buts. Respect is going to increase your influence, my friends. Okay, what's the next one? Understand people. This is a foundational component that we talk about in the Transformational Learning System, our live event. Understanding people. It's part of our main sales process. Now, what I've learned is in the understanding phase, It's going to be directly related to connecting and listening. I'm never going to understand people if I cannot connect to them, and I'm never going to understand them if I'm not listening to them. So those two things are foundational and basic in the selling space. But all too often, we get caught up in our product. We think about how much value our product brings, and it does. I'm not saying it doesn't. But sometimes we get so caught up in that we forget that our real core job is to connect, listen, and understand where our client or potential client is coming from. Okay? Understanding is a foundation. And then this one, empowering. A lot of times this is going to come in the process of presentation or representation. A lot of times it'll come after the sale is actually made, when the salesperson does the follow-up and empowers the purchaser to be successful with the product. We talk about that as part of our main process, our UPI process. That is a powerful component, because if you're empowering people, if you're empowering buyers, if you're empowering the users of your product, my friend, your influence is going to start to go through the roof. It absolutely will. Empowerment increases influence. Okay, now let's think about these 4 things for a moment. Connect to people, listen to them, understand them, and empower them. If you do those 4 things, I will promise you your influence is going to increase. I would guarantee you that your influence will increase when you focus on and develop in those 4 areas. Now, I want to look at 2 other things, and then we're going to show you 3 main points on how to increase influence. But let's look at 2 other areas that are extremely important to salespeople. Number 1, sales influence. Your ability to actually sell your product or service. Obviously, it requires influence for you to do that, because if you cannot influence them, you will not sell them. We've already talked about it. But here's where average salespeople are. Not the top 1%. We're talking about average salespeople. They influence to make a few sales. I think the statistical average is like 22% are committed business, or closed, if you will, closed sales, and the rest are lost. So like 80% of the business is lost. So that leaves a whole lot of missed opportunity. And that's where most salespeople are. That's the average salesperson right there. And that's one of the reasons why so many companies have so many salespeople. They have so many salespeople because they got so many average salespeople. Okay, when you start thinking about the opportunity that selling brings to you, you don't want to be average. You want to put average behind you. You want everybody else, you want your competition to be average. You don't want to be average. So what you want to be able to do is increase your influence and miss less opportunities. I mean, you just don't want to miss these opportunities, my friend. If you have leads coming to you, if you have people in your pipeline, if you know people in your circle of influence, you don't want to miss them, okay? You do not want to miss them. You want to be connected to them, influencing them, and selling to them, leading to them, equipping and empowering them, right? That's what you want to be able to do. You want to be very, very good at it. So in the sales space, if you're missing sales, your competition's getting them, okay? If you're missing sales, your competition's getting them. So let's think about competition influence. You need sales. You need business. That's what it's all about. You need sales. You need business. And if you're not getting the business, your competition is. See, I'm using these bars because of one core reason. Okay, I'm gonna slide my mouse over here, and hopefully you guys can see this. My mouse is over here. If you look at your business here, you're going to get some business, but that means your competition has the rest of the business, okay? If your competition has the rest of the business, then you need to increase your influence to get more of that business. That's just the way it is. That is a foundational component in the basics of selling. You're not going to sell if you can't influence. So if you want to increase your business, increase your impact, increase your income, you're going to have to increase your influence to get more business. It's just that simple. And when you get more business, that's less business for your competition. So let me ask you a question. Do you want the business or do you want your competition to have it? Because if you want the business, you have to increase your influence. That's just the truth and the fact of life. Okay? Now, if selling is about influence, how do we actually develop influence? So I'm going to talk with you now about 3 real simple, easy ways to increase your influence. Okay? These 3 simple ways I've used for years, and I'm still working in these areas. I'm still developing in these areas, even though I've used them for years. And I can tell you that there's other leaders out here, great leaders, people who run huge businesses that are still working in these 3 areas. Okay? One is ask more what, where, and when questions. You know, what did you first do to get the results that you're getting today? Where did you learn to do what you're doing today? Where did you learn how to do that? When would you like to make an impact that's bigger than the one you're making today? When would you like to change the outcomes that you're currently getting? When you start to ask those kinds of questions, you are respecting the other person, because you're going to ask a question and then you're going to get back an answer that you want to listen to. Remember, listening is a huge form of respect. So when you're asking the right kinds of questions, you're going to get the right kinds of answers. Now, sometimes you may want to throw in a how question. You know, how is it that you came about that result? How is it that, so you may put out a how question once in a while. The one I'm going to challenge you with to be careful with is why. Be careful how you ask questions about why. Why did you do that? Why are you not doing this? Why? When you ask why, it can come across very negatively. So be very careful if and when you use the why questions. But ask these 3 types of questions, and I promise you, your influence is going to go up. Now, here's another one that I've learned several years ago. And when I was selling moisture sensors in the water space, I found out that I had to be a problem finder, not just a solution provider. There's a big difference. I had to be a problem finder, not just a solution provider. Pay close attention to that. If your potential customers want solutions, they would have already implemented them. If they had the solution, they've already implemented it. Okay? You don't want to just come in and fix a problem they already know about. If they know about a problem, they're pursuing other solutions already. Okay? So what you want to be able to do is find a problem that they don't know exists. And when you find a problem that they didn't know exists, about 48 hours later, you can follow up, because follow-up is a process. The law of timing is foundational in selling. You can follow up at the right time, and sometimes that is right there on the spot, but sometimes it's not. So you want to follow up at the right time with the solution to the very problem that you helped them find. You see, most people are looking at the surface level problems. They're not looking at what's caused the problem, the cause-effect equation. You're going to go deeper into the questioning process. You're going to go deeper and find out what the root cause was, finding a new problem, and guess what? That's going to open up a new door of opportunity for you. You now have the opportunity to provide a solution to a problem they didn't even know they had. Huge for you. Huge for you, my friends. And then this last one, winning actions create enthusiasm. Enthusiasm influences. See, you may be struggling today, and maybe you're not getting your closed sale. You're not getting your committed business. You're not getting the deals done. But here's the thing that I'm going to challenge you with. When you are creating the actions that create winning, you're going to be more enthusiastic. But you've got to be on the phone, calling 5 more people. You got to be on your emailing 5 more people. You got to be on your lead list looking for somebody new to talk to. If you're creating the actions that create enthusiasm, my friend, you are going to increase influence. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, especially if you're a sales leader, a sales manager, an entrepreneur. It doesn't matter. You have to be a master at influencing the people around you. So do the things that create the enthusiasm, and that will increase your influence. Okay? So my friends, these are some of the things that we wanted to talk with you about. I want to ask you to come in and connect with us on all of our social media sites. We are excited to be bringing the things that we're bringing to the table right now through Kylan Hunt & Company. We have a live event coming up on October 25th and 26th. You don't want to miss it, my friend. You do not want to miss that live event. If you miss it, you're going to miss out on all these different things that we talked about with influence increase. See, what we talked about here is not even a little smidgen of what you get in the live event, because in the live event, we get to work together on things. We get to work through things. You get to bring real life challenges to me, and I'm going to teach you how using influence, you can change your outcome. There's not a problem that you face, my friends. There is not a problem that you face with any customer, with any team member, with any business growth plan. There's not a problem you face that you cannot make better when you increase your influence. It's just a fact of life. So my friends, that's what we're talking about here. We want to help you increase your influence, to increase your impact with the people you serve and work with, to increase your income so that you have freedom to choose and the ability to serve more people. Eventually, we're going to talk a lot more about that. We're going to talk a lot more about what to do with money. We're going to talk about how, money is here to serve us. We're not here to serve money. We're not here to do that. We're here to bring money in, send it back out to do something that impacts other people. So when you start thinking about why we want to generate revenue, why we want to sell things at the best price, at the TLS live event program, we're going to talk about selling at the best price, not selling at the bottom price. Selling at the bottom price hurts you and it hurts everybody else, including your customers. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. The customers buying at the bottom price, they don't get any service. And you can't sustain a business without that. Okay? So my friends, I'm going to challenge you again. Go to our social media sites, connect with us there, connect with us on these sites so we can come in and actually serve you to the level that we know we can, and help us help you. Help us help you. We want to serve you at the highest level. We want to serve you, serve your company, and most importantly, serve your customers, because that's who we are at Kylan Hunt & Company. So my friends, thank you for joining in with us here. Thank you for connecting to these things. I hope you can take these 3 main points about how to increase your influence and go make a difference today. So my friends, seek truth, gain wisdom, serve others. God